So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Today we're off to the human comedy. We haven't been there for a while. So the car of choice today, as I do that with a black screen, which isn't very good, so I'll probably cut that and say the car of choice today is the Corvette 58. It's the C1. It's just come down with update 1.36. It's a beautiful car. It gets lots of eye looks. It is appreciated in the car industry. It is one of the American muscle classics. This one is a stick shift monster, as you can see from the images. But it's lovely red interior and exterior, and I don't normally give you that much commentary, but hey ho. So let's check out the settings for today's race. We've got a mixture of tyres, so it's at 459.99 against a target of 460. It's running 303 brake horsepower, and we've got comfort mediums at the front, comfort softs at the rear. We're doing that to get the best blend of PP for the race. Fully customizable suspension, fully customizable differential. Nothing's changed. All of those items are default. If you want to do it, you can screenshot here just so that you can go and get the car sorted. No downforce available, so with that we've took the front splitter off and put the A splitter on. They are lightened, but there's no downforce. The rear has got the biggest valance on, which there isn't one. There's no rear wing available. Side skirts are just a removal of some parts. I believe it's all about lightening the car. Wheels are standard, but we've pushed them wide. ECU fully customizable 100. Balusters at 82 at 19 points to the rear. Power restrictor set to 92. So there to tune for power because we've over-egged it. We also needed the weight at the back to actually balance the car out to make it more drivable. But with that, we've actually overpowered the car and brought it back down with a power restrictor. Top speed is set to 220. We haven't messed with that. When I was doing the test runs, didn't notice there was any need for any difference. This is a supercharged car, but you can't afford the PP for it. So air cleaner, silencer and exhaust manifold are on racing. Racing, slotted disc brake system and brake pads is racing. Brake control is there to be played with. We haven't played with it yet. We've got the carbon prop shaft on. We could take that off and lose a couple of pounds. We could do whatever you like. Bore up, stroke S and polish ports have been installed, and the increased body rigidity. And with that, folks, that takes us off to the race. So we'll see you there. I don't believe we'll be pit stopping for tyres, but we'll be definitely pit stopping for fuel. Let's have a look at the settings. The settings are assist, traction control 1, default ABS, and for this setup I'm using ASM on and counter steer assistance on strong. If we look to the top right hand corner, you'll see the list of friends that were doing this race. I don't think it's in danger. Control settings, as usual folks, we're on a G29, so we're driving a manual gearbox with flappy paddles. Torque force feedback max torque 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. And with that, yeah, I don't believe we are. There's some seriously good races up there on the right hand side. Gran Turismo 522 Sphinx, I haven't seen it in a little while, but he's still up there. Mr. Maguire always floats around the top, as is Extremely Quick. Sam, new to the group, but he's up there on 25 laps, a controller driver. Skyzer, BB, another incredibly quick driver. And every one of there is up there on that friends list. The key thing though will be top 10 stars, won't it? And let's have a look on there. I'm not in that list, but some of those guys are, look. And look at the cars they've been using. At the minute, it's the Abarth engine swap is the one to use. But Sphinx got in there with the RA272. Very nice job. So with that, folks, we're going to take to the race. So let's give it a go. And here we go, folks. Fuel map 1. That's where we need to be. We need to measure where we're going. Now it says down there we're only going to get 5.2 laps of fuel, but from testing we know we can actually make this thing go a full 10 laps as Mr. Brooks gets a bit animated offline. So we started in roughly 10th or 12th place. We're going to slide up the inside of Mr. Brooks and we're up to 6th place already. Oh, Mr. Konomos just makes the unsporting like manoeuvre. And we're just alongside Mr. Lopez as we miss our braking point and tap the back of Mr. Konomos as a little reminder. Oh, we get slammed in the side by Mr. Brooks or Mr. Healy. We've got front end damage and we're going to wash out wide here as well because we were too quick. There we go, we get the slingshot down there, that's great stuff. Into third place. Chasing down these two boys. Let's just try and get this line right as we come round. We've only done a couple of laps practice. Nudge nudge wink wink. For those of you watching the stream, you'll know what's going on. I've actually done a little bit of a test run and worked out where they're going to pit stop. So the question is do we get to the front and then start to conserve fuel and try and see how long we can go on a tank of fuel? Or do we just go as fast as we can, pit stop, and then race the AI? Because that's what we've got to do. We know at a head-to-head race we're faster than them. Look, we're catching. But on the current fuel map strategy, we're going to do 7 laps. So that means we're going to have to stop every 15 minutes to get to that target of 25. We're going to have to stop at least 4 times. So second place, he says, as he goes into corner 1 of the second lap. There we go. Really quite loose steering on this car. As you turn in, it takes a little bit of time for the steering to react, so never noticed it before, but the fuel port on that Mercedes is through the back window. Now what I must remember, folks, is we're not changing tyres at the pit stop. These tyres with the comfort mediums at the front and the comfort softs at the back are going to last the entire race. Current fastest lap of the race is with Mr. Hizal. He's doing a 2:31.625, and that's us in front. And now we're going to back that fuel map down because we're going to try and save the fuel, and we're going to try and push as long as we can to reduce the amount of times we pit. Got some interesting feedback noise as I came through that corner. It's as though the wheel arches were scrubbing on the inside of the chassis. They maybe are, because we've got the customizable suspension on. .75 seconds. 1.075 seconds in the lead as we come through that apex there, a bit too quick. And we put 2 tyres in the gravel. Oh, we'll fix that. Mr. Hizal's back with us. He's trying to go up the inside. We're going to have to leave room for him. There he goes. Back up the fuel map. We're good. He's not going to get us. We're stretching this fuel. That's the plan. But we're also going to try and extend the lead now. We're not going to back off and be casual. We're going to try and race him and stretch it. So for the next couple of laps, it's eyes down, concentrate, get on with it. Fastest lap of the race at 2:29.163 is ours. I know we can do much faster than that. We can be down in the 2:26s, sorry. But we're going to be backing off on the fuel, and we do those fastest laps later in the race. Tyre wear is looking absolutely sublime, on point. She's an old race car. She is finely petalled and tuned, but she needs to be driven that way. So let's just focus on where it goes. I'm running too smooth or too long a line. I've got to start to tighten things up a bit. I keep dipping tyres off the circuit, which is no great strokes. We're good. Braking on the environmental corner markers. Now if we were really fuel saving, we'd be short shifting quite significantly more. Third gear is not great into this corner. It likes to wash out. And there's that environmental sound, the scraping sound again. Not great. So, leading the race, we're half a second in front of Mr. Hizal, Mr. Mangiano in third, Mr. Lopez in fourth, Mr. Brooks in fifth, Connor Moss in sixth, Mr. Adam we don't see much of, and Mr. Takeda in eighth. .8 laps of fuel left as we come to the end of lap 3, so that would see us almost get the 10th lap, which should be tremendous. I would say that would kind of take us 22 minutes or so into the race, something like that. I don't do many fuel saving races, but when you're never 100% sure of a car's capability, sometime you've got to. What we're trying to find out is just how long these guys are going to go till they pit stop, and we're going to try and match it. And if they step up the pace, we can step up the pace, because we know we're on a similar strategy. If they're going to have to slow down, we're going to have to slow down, because they're going to run out of fuel unless we know we've got significantly more. You might think that's actually rubbish and that you could actually just go fuel max 6 and just win it. Yeah, you can. I think you can. But this way we've got a race on our hands, and it's about deliberately winning the race in a assured kind of way. Sure, I don't mind the risk, but we're racing the AI, and they're not tremendously good AI, even though we're on hard setting. There's that scraping sound, it's horrendous. Sounds like the rear diff's going to pack up. Mr. Hazal's putting a bit of pressure on. He wants to probably come past. We're probably frustrating him at this point. Just dropping away a bit. We're going to brake just before we hit this curb this time, because I've been overshooting it quite a bit. Tyre wear just starting to show on the rear now. We've got a thin strip of red on the fronts and the backs. Must forget, don't change tyres at pit stop. Sorry, must remember, not forget, that's what I did. Oh. Go, we're on to lap 3 at 29.345. so even though we're on fuel map 6, we're in a concerted effort. We're potentially going to be able to beat that fastest lap by just a few seconds, milliseconds one would suggest, just as the fuel weight drops down. On the brakes as we hit the centre line. I wondered actually whether anybody would have chosen to race this with me, and I know some of you do. And here we come up to lap the first cars. I do know some of you like to race against the screen, so as I race the race, you put it on YouTube and you race as well, and you see how well we compete against myself and the other AIs at the same time. Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that with this one. I think you should be able to. I don't see why not. You might want to run that multiple stop strategy. There was that sound again. That was me. Oh, Mr. Hazal just gets kind of into interference with those two guys. He's just dropped back a third of a second as we just let off the gas halfway through that corner there just to stop the slide. Let's see if we can push out just a tiny bit of time on Mr. Hazal. Don't want to lose it now I've gained it. Up to 1.5 but back down to 1.1. The different lines through the corner changed that time, but we're pushing hard, so let's go. A 2:28 would be great this lap, but I don't think that's going to be the case just yet. She's not got the best brakes in the world, any more power and I think she would be a little bit of a handful on the slowdown. So we're out to 1.2 seconds. Come across the line, just a low, oh, just outside that fastest lap. Let's see if we can get it this time around. Come on. All we have to do is turn up to fuel map 5 and we'll get it, but that's not the point. Still got 4.6 laps of fuel, so that'll take us almost to 5 laps. Sorry, 10 laps total. Just need to see how we're going to go. .6 in the lead, down to 1.1. Going to take the inside line just like the AI do this time. Go slightly longer, put the wheels in the dirt. We lost time, didn't we? So just half a second up from Mr. Hazal then. He's going to start to put pressure on, I think, in a minute. He's going to want to start pushing for his pit stop, whenever that may be. We're almost 15 minutes into the race, so if anybody's on a 3-stop strategy, it's about now they're going to start to happen. And if we hadn't have changed fuel strategy, that's potentially where we could be. We would probably be sort of 12 seconds ahead right now. I'd say we'd be 3 or 4 seconds faster a lap, and we'd be looking to pit probably round about lap, well, about this lap, end of this lap. We'd be out of fuel now, but as it is, we've got 41% left. Coming through 1 second almost ahead of Mr. Hazal, and that's the first 2:28. But Mr. Hazal has got a 2:28.408 in. So he's moving quicker than we did. We did a 2:28.854, so that was his previous lap maybe? Or did he just do it behind us? Well, that's interesting. We're going to get that back before the end of the race, I assure you. Just ran got 2 wheels off the curb, never fun. And he gives us a nice tap up the inside. Well, we know we're going to go door to door with him. We're going to give him a problem down here. We can all play that game, Mr. Hazal, sir. We're on lap 7. I think we're going to get the 10th lap in based on our fuel use. Listen to that sound, that's horrendous. Oh, don't know what that was. It sounds like we got a little bit of mechanical interference or something in the back axle as we go around that left-hand corner. Sounds like the rear diff's going to give up. I'm not good to see. I'm only trying to read messages on the screen now. Yeah, we've all done that. Ray guy. I don't often do it. That was just a blatant classic failure on my part. I say I don't often do it. I do it too many times to let me be happy about it. But I'm smiling. Be positive. That's the way. Don't know if that'd be quicker. I probably touched too many tyres on the ground too. Yeah, slower. But it looks like we're going to get the 10th lap in, which is good. We've managed to conserve the fuel accordingly. Let's try and put at least 3 clean laps in now before the pit stop. And yeah, that 230 was unnecessary. That's the beauty of doing the videos this way. You'll see it warts and all. And we get a tap from Mr. Hazal again. He's not happy, but we're going to keep him there where he is. He's playing a dirty game, so let's give him that back. It's costing him. I hope so, Mr. Steve. I think you must have watched all of Netflix by now. I'm trying to read that. I've got to go around the corner first. This is an interesting dimension I've never really had to suffer before. Absolutely it is, Mr. Ray Guy. That's the entire thing. You only see the good ones. So back to the commentary. We are 0.6 seconds ahead of Mr. Hazal. We're currently running a fuel saving strategy just to make sure we stay in front. Mr. Hazal has been trying to get past for the last 4 or 5 laps. We're just not letting him. Mr. Mangiano is in 3rd, Mr. Lopez 4th, Mr. Conomos in 5th, for those of you that can't read the screen. Mr. Adam, who we don't see a lot of, is in 6th place, Mr. Kida in 7th, and Mr. Healy in 8th. And we are going all the way to the next lap for the fuel stop. We're going to do this one and the next. We've got 23% left. Oh, the car booked off the tarmac then. Here comes Mr. Hazal. He's going to try and run us, but we're going to give him the gas. There we go. Have you, Mr. Steve? I'm going to try and get round these next 2 laps without much interference from Mr. Hizal. I'm going to try and run a faster lap and try and be racy without it going awry. There we go, we've got it, we got the line right. On the purple sector, haven't been able to say that a lot before now. Let's see if we can keep those purple sectors going. We are light on fuel. He's going to try a different round than the outside there. So based on the strategy we're following, we should be able to stop twice. The first stop will be a full fuel stop. The second stop will potentially be, oh, I'd like to think it would only be for 3 laps. I think we'll get to lap 24 maybe. So if we can put 4 laps in of fuel, we might put 5 laps in just to give us the benefit. It won't be a 0.2 like we normally do. I don't think this will be a... Oh, we've got the lappers again. That'll keep us interested, won't it? Just outside the lap time. We just blew that at the end. This is lap 10. We've got 1.5 laps of fuel, so we did marginally better than anticipating. Mr. Orlando and Mr. Potts having a really close race. Unless one's lapping the other, but I think they're actually having a much better race than, well, equal as good race between Mr. Hizal and us. But I wouldn't say they're fuel saving. So our personal fastest lap was lap 9, a 2:28.631. We've got 1.2 laps of fuel left at this point. And we are anticipating pitting at the end of 10. We're purple again at this point. We could probably just quicken this lap up with a bit of fuel map, but we're not going to, because it means we'll be stationary less if we go into the pits with more fuel. But I'm sure... Oh, listen to that back axle. That was horrific. I do not know what that sound is, but it's horrible. I'll be pulling over and asking the pit crew to have a look. So, 25 minutes or so into the race. 24 minutes into the race. We're purple sector by 3/4 of a second, but we're on our in lap. We're not actually going to be able to register this time, which is a shame. The interesting part about this is, though, this is almost a one-stop race at this effort, but we're just going to be 4 or 5 minutes short, so we'll probably not actually do the 24 laps we're talking about. Well, we might do. I don't know. Maths aren't my strong point when I'm racing. But we're going into the pits. Don't change tyres. 1.3 seconds in the lead, and we're going to take all the fuel. It probably is. It probably is Mr. Ray Guy, definitely. Oh, I need that drink. I'm dry. Just like the car, I need to refuel. My ice has gone. Here it is, all the tank. 10.5 something, there we go. Mr. Hizal. We came out in 3rd gear. That was Mr. Mangiano that gave us a bump. So has he pitted? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else pit yet. Has anybody else seen it? I haven't. Somebody else pitted at the same time as us. Mr. Hizal did go in. But Mr. Mangiano has overtaken Mr. Hizal. Now the element of this is we could actually pit one more time and know he's got to pit. But if we go flat out now, we're going to have to stop for a whole tank of fuel. Whereas he will only stop for the laps we need at the end, and I think that's got to be the most assured way of winning this race. Is if we do the 20 laps and then take the only fuel that we need to try and assure ourselves of the win, because that's what we're trying to prove. It's not a record breaker, this car, even on the grass. And we gave up so much time there to Mr. Mangiano. He's going to dive down the inside by the looks of it. He's going to try and take it. Going to squeeze him. He's not going to get there. Tyres are good. We don't need to change them. Don't ever change them when you pit. Who would change tyres? I mean, when you got a no tyre stop race, who changes tyres? I was going to go Barbie Steve, but I decided not to. I thought the beautiful red car was as it came from the factory, or as I bought it, so that's where we left it. I don't think it needed to be pink. I wasn't sure what colour it was, the one I bought. So here we go. First lap out the pits is going to be a slow one. This one is going to be the one that we hopefully go that bit quicker as Mr. Mangiano and Mr. Takeda go to the pits. There's Mr. Hizal behind us pushing, as we know he's going to. So they're going to get to lap 22 without a stop, but we know we came out the pits with them behind us, so we've got the advantage over those boys. There's going to be no under or overcutting going on. Mr. Hizal is well, he was 2 seconds back. We just blew that. But so's Mr. Lopez and Mr. Boudoir. They are not far back at all, but I think they've got to pit yet. We've got to try and break for it now and try and get that lead that we need. If we can get that lead, we can assure it. Absolutely, Mr. Ray Guy. Pretty little red Corvette is definitely the way. Oh, I'm blowing that corner, aren't I? I've never been at one with that corner this race. In fact, any race. I need to change my approach in there. I think I need to dive wider and come in tighter. But with most corners, folks, I have the issue of being too narrow on entry. Or blowing through the apex like that. My word, why did that happen? He's alongside me again. He's giving me a tap, just to let me know where he is. I think I'd be much more assured if I was going faster and I could make these mistakes without that happening, but there we go. Let's keep going. Do it correctly this time. So coming to the end of lap 12. Mr. Lopez and Mr. Suswillow go to the pit. So next time round we expect Mr. Beauvoir and Mr. Adam to go in. Pinell's come onto the grid there, look, in 7th. Is he going to make his way up? Another Canadian, is he going to make his way up further up the field? I don't know. In terms of... he has, because the other guys are in the pits longer. Let's give you a rundown of what the current positions are then on lap 13. We are leading. Mr. Hizal has the fastest lap of the race, a 2:28.408. Mr. Zal is in 2nd place, Mr. Beauvoir 3rd, Mr. Adam in 4th. Mr. Lopez 5th, Mr. Pinell 6th, Mangiano in 8th. 7th, and Suswillow in 8th. I mean, I'm even reading it and getting wrong. How good's that? What I saw was another car in front, but I don't think it was. I think it might have been the helicopter down low. We've gone deep again, and that's never good. I think I've got to brake just before the curbs on the left. I'm giving this car far too much so that it'll turn into that corner. Fuel's looking good though. 8 laps to go at the end of 13, which will take us to... Again, she's gone deep. I need to stop looking all around the screen and focus on driving. So that's what we're going to do for the next couple of laps. Let's get them in. Let's try and challenge that fastest lap of the race now. We're burning this fuel away. There's Mr. Adam gone into the pits on 6% of fuel. There is another car there, look. We're actually lapping the real field, or about to. That's what I'm going to chase after now. Mr. Pinell has pitted as well. Try and hug that apex, but we missed it. It pulled wide. Can anybody tell what the car is yet? I can, it's a Stratos. Lancia Stratos. Not very good round here, I've found. Probably one we have to revisit in the future. But I wonder if that's actually any good round the Tokyo 600. I wonder at 600 pp. It might be. But, or is it a Stratos? It's got to be with that shape. Oh, it might not be. That might be another Corvette. Look at it, just left the circuit. It's a Ferrari. That was Mr... I don't know, he's come across the track again. Absolutely horrendous. Did you see that? Absolutely lost it twice. Oh, that's the AI doing silly crazy things. That was... I didn't see who that was. Wow. I've never seen the AI have a moment like that before, but it looked almost like he'd got a throttle stuck out wide open. That could have been quite dangerous for the guys behind, to be honest. Has he got back to the track yet, or is he still spinning around all over the place? There we go, we came through there better that time, didn't we? A little bit of concentration helps. Where are we going to be? 2:28.408 is the target. We're going to miss it by a second or so, almost. So as the fuel's burned down. Let's see if we can get the gas on again and see if we can go. 1.6 seconds, 7 ahead. He does that a lot in the Ferrari. It was a Ferrari, wasn't it? Was it the Dino? It might have been the Dino. It's a lovely car, the Dino. And we're back lapping the tail enders again. Happy days. This will be lapping number 3, Mr. Potts. He's backed right off though, Steve. Stop adding pressure. Hey, Asphalt. So I have taken a total different approach to the strategy on this race. Today I would normally be racing it extremely faster. And then today I've opted for a fuel saving race just to be assured the win. But it would almost be worth doing another video of the car just trying to see if we can do it flat out. But no, I appreciate that, Steve. Yeah, it probably frightened him like it frightened me. If you can frighten an AI car, that is. I was quite surprised to see it not crash just the once, but to crash straight across the track the second time was the surprise in the rearview mirror. You guys have the benefit of being able to skip back on the actual video and be able to tell me what actually happened there, if you'd want to, but you don't have to. You probably already have, because you'll be really attentive and know what you're doing and understand that. Lap traffic will, yes. I can't believe there's going to be that much though in front of me, so a much slower lap again that time. It's not affected by tyre wear though, I'm sure. It's just me being sloppy. 3.3 seconds up. Maybe Mr. Hazal's opted to fuel save as well and he's going to do a no stopper all the way to the end now. Maybe. We're on lap 16, there's only 21 minutes remaining. We're still putting the wheels off the track, which isn't clever. On the last fuel stint we were probably starting to flag up the purple sectors at this point. We're a quarter of a second off, which will be the tyres in the dirt difference. .9, 5 seconds out of Hazal. Properly broke the back of him now, haven't we? We seem to have lost that noise from the rear end. Maybe that's come off. Maybe that's what the Dino hit. Maybe it had come off just down here and he'd hit that. Maybe. So let's see where we are lap 16. I don't think Mr. Beauvoir has pitted as yet. So Mr. Hazal second, Mr. Beauvoir in third, Lopez fourth, Mr. Mangiano in fifth place, Saswillo sixth, Takeda in seventh, Mr. Adam in eighth, a name we don't normally see at the top of the list. So, oh, as we go off at an unusual place, we don't usually come off there. Wow, that's chucking it away. Concentration lacking. Oh, let's try again. Fastest lap of the race. Come on. We don't want Hazal to put a really good one in, do we? and then really mess with our mojos. So let's go for it. Try and keep all four wheels on the black stuff. Do you get paid more than once for these? What do you mean, Mr. Travie? I don't understand. He probably did get caught, Steve, you're right. They are the back markers back there, and he's still that car back there behind me, not that far back, isn't he, on the overhead? So he's on his way again. And we've got another back marker just up round the corner. Mr. Travie, if you mean do I get paid if I air the videos, they get paid as often as they're watched. You don't get paid a massive amount. Oh no, I see what you mean about the race. Yeah, you only get paid once, my friend. If you've won the race before and you're doing it again, you don't get paid again. But some of us don't race this race very often. There's lots of people in here that actually have never won this race because they don't know the technique, they haven't got a tune for a car, etc. People who've just started out in the game don't have any idea or concept of what it takes. So I've probably run this race about 20 times on videos now, probably something like that, and I just show a different car every time. So if you're not interested or bothered in running it more than once, then that's all well and good, but I know some people are. No, it's a good question because it is something people do ask. So no drama there, Travie. It's cool. It's a valid question. So we've just managed to break out a 9-second lead over Mr. Hizal, and with that being the case, we have what looks like the old VW bus that used to be an engine swapped. This thing was engine swapped, and it was the one you had to race. We were not racing the 300 SL when the game came out. We were racing this bad boy, and he drove like a tank. He would be in second place by the end of the first lap, and he'd be stripping you out in the lead, and you had to have a real monster of a car to win this race back in the day. Last year. That's not back in the day, is it, folks? But hey ho. We're too fast entering there because we're racing the car in front, which is silly. We've not actually put in a 28 this session, have we? It's not massively long. It's a relatively fast fuel fill. We'll be doing one in 3 laps time, I would suggest. We could measure it when we're in there. That's us overtaking the bus. I don't think it's that long a pit stop to put you off the 3-stop. I think the 3-stop is still very much a positive possible. The mathematician, I can't do that. I can't do that while I'm driving. Not a chance. Well done, Steve. So 28.631. Very good. And that was for a full 10 laps of fuel, that stop. We're 11 seconds in the lead. And the point is, folks, is you win this the first time and move on. The human comedy is 6 races. They are excellent races to get your head round. Once you've got your head round them, you can get a fleet of cars to get round. I just wish they were grinders. I wish you could win the 1,000,000 credits every time you did the hour. I'd be happy to run it lots of times for the 1,000,000 credits. I wouldn't even have to have it for the 1.5 that you get from doing Tokyo twice or Spa. Maybe if you gave me the clean race bonus and put 500,000 on top for the clean race bonus, that'd be terrific. But we're not going to get the clean race bonus today, are we, folks? Not with what we've done to Hizal. But hey ho. Bit of door-to-door stuff. Are we going to get a purple? Yes, we do. Only just, and exactly the same as we did last time's round. Starting to get the purples in the later laps of the section. Section? Is that right? No. What do we call it? Stint. Brain's gone. That was that corner much better. Look at that. Yes. Got it right for the first time in maybe 30 laps today. Somebody says, oh, you've only done 19. No, I've done 30. Believe me. And we're coming round on purple, 0.168. Pepper's husband might get in the way. No, he won't. We've got him. I might actually just take 10 laps of fuel. Well, I know we've pretty much got this race absolutely nailed now. I don't think there's any need to worry about Mr. Hizal for a while. But I know, yes, we could definitely up the fuel map now and not really worry about it. Because I'm only going to stop at the most for four laps of fuel. That's all I'm going to take. But I'm going to get down to the 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take probably 5 laps of fuel and give it some guns and secure that that fastest lap. But it's a bit of a ropey setup. It's not brilliant. But using the basic setup tuning capabilities that we have, I haven't adjusted anything. Everything in this setup is 100% default. All we've done is tune for power, and then we've used the driving aids to actually make the car drivable. You don't have to spend 3/4 of a week tuning a car front and back. I haven't actually played with the brake balance. Look, the brake balance hasn't been moved at all. I probably shouldn't have messed with that because I've fluffed that corner now, but hey ho. Yeah, that was the last lap. It was quite close, wasn't it? This has to be the lap that we get it on, because we're pitting next lap. We won't. We'll take the fuel next lap out. And that was only because I got this corner right last time, Steve. That's the only difference. It is the fastest lap of the race, you're right. There's me chatting away, not really looking. It's fine. So let's pit this time. Let's take 6 laps and let's whack it on. We can't actually, because we'd have to take the whole full tank a 30-second stop, wouldn't we? I don't think we've got a thing to worry about Mr. Hizal pitting. I don't think we have. She doesn't brake well through the old gears, not at all. We're not taking the tyres, we're just taking fuel. Well said, Ray Guy. Right. We're going to churn the fuel map up and we're going to go. We're 19 seconds in the lead. So let me have a drink, a slurp. We think he's going to stop for fuel. So let's give it 8 laps and go. And then we're going to turn the fuel map up. And then we're going to set the fastest lap of the race and really see how this girl goes. Here we go. Fuel map 1. We're 1.5 seconds in the lead, so timed perfectly over Mr. Hizal, and we're just going to leave him behind us. Let's drive to the end. 9 minutes to go. She is going to be much quicker than what we just experienced, and we're still going to run her off the track, so nothing's going to change. I am. They're the only thing that are consistent. High rear wing, Type 20 M plates. There isn't one on this bad boy. I don't know if there's any theory or setting to the M plate thing, you know. I think they must be just for show. There isn't. I don't think there's any concept that if you put the big end plates on, they keep the car straight as you're going into corners because of the amount of air they're directing in a straight line. I don't think that's modelled in the game. I don't think it is. I just like the big ones. Anything big on the back of the car, making it a full wang is where we're at. There was a time when there was people about called ricers, and it's just got to be a ricer wing for me. And we know why they were called ricers, but it wasn't for any racist connotations. It was because anybody that did good, glad about that. Yeah, confirmation there that they don't think there's any airflow or aerodynamic benefit to any of the end plates. But I just love a massive rear wing. The time attack cars, you probably don't know if you see it in the US, but the World Time Attack thing is quite popular in the UK. And I know a couple of guys that have time attack cars, and the wings they put on the back of their cars are absolutely monstrous. So I love them to bits. So here we go. This will be the first fastest lap of the race we're going to attempt to put in. Mr. Zal's gone to the pits, so that's going to give us the lead we've always wanted. Mr. Mangiano goes in. Has Mr. Beauvoir actually pitted yet? Is anybody able to confirm whether he has or whether he hasn't? Has he gone a non-stopper? And what car is it? What car is Mr. Beauvoir in? I'm not sure I should be getting you all to do this investigation stuff. I'm supposed to be entertaining you, but you're going to entertain me for a little bit while I put this fastest lap in. Just to annoy Mr. Hizal even further, because like Mr. Gallo, I have a soft spot for Mr. Hizal in this race. Gallo isn't in this one, is he? I've not seen him. A second up at the first split, that's tippity top. A cheeky use of an extra gear to try and slow the car there, because they're probably panic braking. We're going to run a wider line in, we're going to brake later, and then we're going to dive it into the corner and try and ensure we get this corner right. There we go. Back end drifted out a bit. All the hell page slowing us down, of course. 15 seconds in the lead now. 5 minutes left on the clock. I'm hoping for a purple second sector time, I think, as we come under that bridge. If it was a second last time, it should be somewhere closer to that now. There it is, 1.794. Brake early. One thing I definitely know, this car is better, faster. You can predict it more. It reacts a lot better as a faster drive. But could we have done 3 stops, folks? There's the question. Depends how much quicker this lap is and times the gap by 6. We know it's a 30-second pit stop as calculated by Steve, our mathematician resident in the house. So we'd stop for 30 seconds and we need to be faster over 6 lap by 5 seconds. So this would be to be a 2:23, and it's not, but it is the fastest lap of the race on 8 laps of fuel in the tank as we blow that one run wide. There's going to be 2 laps left, which will take us to 25, and then I'm asking myself, if I've done 25 laps of the race, well, 23 and 24 will be 24, wouldn't it? So to get 2 laps quicker, it has to be substantially more time quicker on the fuel. So we'd have still never got anywhere near the 25th lap, because 25 seconds is a minute, is a lap, is a minute, sorry. 25 seconds a minute. I'm doing the maths. We need to do 40 laps at 5 seconds quicker, because every lap's worth 2:25. So it's actually the best part of, oh, I don't know. I need to be 15 seconds a lap quicker to actually get to that 25 laps. The tyres are absolutely bang on though. But it doesn't matter how long you do it, if you're not going to win the money, you're still going to be racing for an hour. So in terms of enjoyment, I've enjoyed this today. There's 1.5 races. But that won't make sense in the video, will it? But there we have it. You're 15. I'm reading messages. Talking of time attack cars, you need Travis Pastrana's Subaru Hugster. Oh, that Legacy thing, the Legacy Estate. Yeah, I've seen that. That's an absolute beast. If PD get their act together with the hill climb race and track, he did a demo there this last year, didn't he, in that car? I think he'll be 15 to 20 seconds from the 25th lap. You're absolutely spot on with that, Steve. I'm probably actually going to be exactly 25 seconds maybe, because I came through the line with 2 minutes to go, and we will be that far short. So if we think about it, could I have absolutely charged from the first stop and done fuel map 1 after the first stop, just pitted the once but gone 5 or 6 seconds a lap quicker over the whole distance to try and get that 25 seconds back? That would have been interesting to work out. Because that might get it to 25 laps and make it a bit of a contender. I think it's capable if we could get the fueling. But that's its problem with this car. It just won't go that extra distance on the fuel. You have to back out the fuel map just to get it anywhere near. But I'm probably a better driver. But here we go, this is going to be it, this is going to be the rundown, this is going to be the last lap. We're currently 31 seconds ahead of Mr. Beauvoir. Mr. Hazal has not come back as we run wide. Going around the outside of Mr. Orlando for another lapping session. So, I wonder how close it is between Mr. Beauvoir and Mr. Hazal. But 22 seconds to go. And if I just drive that bit quicker, I'll prove Steve right to be 15 to 20 seconds short. Down the hill, last time we're going to brake at the bottom of the hill. There's the timer gone to 0. I probably missed that by a couple of seconds. But bottom left hand corner, 1 minute and 13, 14. We're just 25 seconds I think. We get the fastest lap of the race, a 2:26.164, and it wins first place with 24 laps. I think that's a good car. Maybe my strategy's a bit weak, maybe, but you can run that however you want. I think as a two-stopper, you could probably run that on fuel map 3 and get away with that. Ever so definitely. So it wins by a clear 34 seconds. We've lapped some cars 5 times. We got ahead of Mr. Carto in the Fair Lady. We must have lapped him whilst he was in the pits. Mr. Dino had its moment, didn't it? And there we have it, folks. Here she comes through the line. I didn't really show you much of it at the start of the race, but there it is. Stunning looking car. Could be a bit faster, I think, if we don't run the fuel map, but an absolute stunner. A well capable car, and for what it's worth, a really good addition for update 1.36 for this race. I think you would get a little bit more horsepower out of that, and you could use it in other races. It will definitely fit a capable car to be an enjoyable race. And with that, we didn't get anywhere with the friends list. Let's just check on the old ranking board. I'm still on 25 laps for my fastest possible. Where am I on here? There I am. I used the Corvette. There it is, 24 laps. I've actually come on the list for that for the first time with 24 laps. So down in 19th place, which I don't think is bad at all. I know my best possible is 25. For shoot for the top 10 stars, we'd have to use something different. But there is some good cars on there for 25 laps. So if we want to, folks, I'm going to jump on this again in a couple of days' time, maybe a week's time. We'll do this, but I'm going to shoot for the top 10 stars, and I'll take a fairly decent dandy car, and I'll give you some form of setup to go with. It won't be the RA272 because I've used that before. It won't be the Abarth. It's going to be something different, and it's a bit of a surprise for you guys. I'll probably do the stream as well at the same time to give you something to watch to see it live, and I'll record the video and put it out there as well. But as a shout out to everybody on the video and who's watching this after the event, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. Six-star roulette ticket. Who's the winner, eh? And that's not even engine or a parts. That's the full Monty. Should we do that? Because I think I've got 7. So let's tack it on the end. I think that's my 7th ticket. So I know some of you like to see this. So let's do that. 7 tickets. Look at that. Let's see what we got for the 7 tickets. Where are we going? Gifts. I've got an engine ticket. Another one. Let's start with a 3-star. No disappointment when you save them up in my world. Oh, nobody minds an Expo. No, I do like an Expo. 589.6 pp. That would work at Tokyo, wouldn't it? Maybe. I have used it at Tokyo. I've got a video for Tokyo with that. An old one though. It's back from April last year, I'd say. One of the early days. 24th. That's the 7th. 5th. Go 5th. We'll go in date order. I hope it did feel kind of close. A bit of a entertaining Steve. It was a bit of a dampener at the end, I think. With I could have actually chased it a bit more to get the fuel down, but a stroke up for the DeLorean. Happy days. 40k. Not that it's worth anything like that. 6th. I'm hoping the next one will be when I do that again, shooting for top 10 stars, Steve. That'll try to be a little bit more entertaining. 10k. 10k. Happy days. Put it in the bank balance. 32.5 million. 7th, 4 stars. Ooh. Oh. 500,000. Happy days. Takes us to almost 33 million. Another 4-star. Oh, dodgy invite to Citroen. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean getting the 6-star? Yeah, well, we might edit that into the end of the stream. You never know. Should we do the part? We do the engine one first. See what we get. You watch. It'll be the engine for the Abarth. Is it a Lamborghini engine? Ford Shelby GT350R 16. I've no idea what that'll go in. Probably in the ST, will it? Don't know. Right. Shall we see what disappointment lies behind the door of a 6-star ticket? And this is the last one, so let's hope it's a good one. There's 2 cars in there. I'll take the GT. We get 500,000 credits. That's not bad though. From 7 tickets you get 1,000,000 credits, a car, some parts and some more cash. Happy days. And with that folks, that will end the stream. So thank you very much. Appreciate you watching and we'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.